Hi. You just saw me measure the apartment with a little laser thingamabob so that I can then calculate the whole surface area of the apartment so that I know how much flooring I need to buy. But this video is about answering your questions. It's a Q&A, in fact. And let's get right into it, shall we? These questions were picked at random, and hopefully there's some good ones in there, I'm sure there is. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Ryan, I'm thinking of starting my own YouTube channel. What is the best entry-level camera to start with? Just use your phone. Everyone's got a smartphone, they've got a camera, just use that. As long as it's a half decent one. If not, get like an iPhone or something. It can be a few years old as well, the iPhone, not even the latest one. Apparently they're really good. I've got just a cheap Android phone, which I don't use. The camera I use is a Sony A7 IV, but I wouldn't recommend that to start out with because it's quite expensive. Next question. You've got a distinct accent when you're speaking English. Does that carry over when you speak French? No, because I came to France when I was 5 years old. I developed a French accent and spoke fluent French quite quickly, as do most young people, young humans. Next question. Is your first time doing roof work? Is this your first time doing roof work? Learn to read, Ryan. You seemed quite comfortable and efficient at it. That's referencing the work I've been doing that you can see over on the Pefrix YouTube channel. Shameless plug to the Pefrix. I was helping doing a roof, stripping it and putting new battens on. It's not really my first time being involved in a roofing project, but it is actually my first time really hands-on up there on the roof, kind of let loose. And it was good fun, quite easy. So yeah, it was basically my first time. Another question. What kind of property are you looking for? Somewhere with lakes, lots of land, really rural, or in a village or town? You know, that's the beautiful thing about France. It's a big country. There's so much variety, and most of it is affordable. Of course, not in the big cities, you know. But I'd like somewhere that I can put my own stamp on, which is kind of not an answer, is it? It's, you know, but I'm dodging the question a little bit, but we shall see. Somewhere I can put my own stamp on, definitely. Because also I have to determine a budget with banks, which I haven't done yet. So basically, depending on how much I can spend, of course, I'd love to get a big house with a lake, you know, because there's plenty of potential rental income there. But if you can't borrow the money, then what's the point? What is the normal down payment when buying a property in France? So I assume you mean like borrowing money. So 5%, 10%, 20%. I know here in California, 20% is almost a standard. I'm pretty sure in France it's 20% as well. But I know people who have what we call a CDI, which is a permanent job contract, half decent job, making about 2.5 grand, 1,000 euros per month, which I think is around the average income in France. And I know someone who actually borrowed 100% down, which is about 5 years ago that happened now. I don't know if you'll be able to do that nowadays, but yeah, I'm pretty sure 20% is the norm. What's the name of your Louis Vuitton crossbody bag? What would you say is a good price for one? I bought mine in auction for like 200 euros. And I'd have no idea what the name of it is. I think it's like vintage, it's quite old. I'd never pay the new price. They're so expensive now, it's outrageous. How long did it take you to learn the language, which is French? When did you start learning? Was it difficult to learn? I've touched on this before. No, it wasn't difficult. I learned when I was 5 years old when I came to France, and I don't even remember. So it probably took about a year. And then it improved, obviously, through my whole schooling when I went to school. Ryan, are you a full-time YouTube creator or do you do other work as well as YouTube? I used to do other work as well as YouTube, but as the YouTube channel grew, I pivoted more towards YouTube on a full-time basis. I honestly don't have time to do anything else. I used to do a lot of web design, but now I just do it for kind of existing clients and friends and family, and I don't even charge them because the French government, a bunch of thieves, they would take over half of whatever I charge. So I do it for free at the moment, for friends and family, but not any new clients at all. France is almost communist, it really is, with their ridiculous taxes. As you can tell, I'm in a very honest mood. But by the way, that is the thing I hate the most about France itself, is their whole taxation system. Mostly everything else about France is amazing. People, architecture, scenery, food, almost everything you can imagine is great about France. But if you live here, then you're gonna kind of develop a bit of a displeasure with the system itself. Just my opinion, of course, which I am entitled to, which is another great thing about France. I'm allowed to say this without fear of repercussions, you know, because we have the freedom of speech here. Very good, very happy about that. Another good thing about France, apart from the tax. What are some of your favourite YouTube channels? Now, this is a good question. It's a good question. To be honest, I can't give any names specifically because off the top of my head I can't think, but I watch a lot of technical channels, some vloggy channels. I always try to find new stuff as well to try to improve these videos, which I don't know if you can tell. Sometimes they improve, sometimes they seem to get worse. I know it's hard when you make or try to make videos every weekday. You don't have a lot of time to work on each individual video, you know, the turnover is quite high, so it ends up being quite compromised. Every single video is a compromise, you know. But hopefully one day I'll have more time to put more effort, just more time into each video and make something a bit more special. That's what I'd like to do in any case. Am I making sense? I don't even know. Another question. How long have you been living in France for, and do you plan on living there for a long time? This is a good question. So my OG viewers will know I came here when I was 5 years old, which means I've probably been here around 23 years now, on and off. And do I plan on living here for a long time? Do you know what? I know I always complain about the French government, blah de blah de blah, but it is a great country to live. Rural France, that is. Don't get me wrong, rural France. If you want to live in a big town, please don't bother coming to France. The towns are horrid, vile, I would say, you know. That's just my opinion, again. Why are the towns vile? Just don't like the vibe. They feel a bit cold. You know, the people aren't as friendly, in my opinion. But I mean, that's the same for every big town in the world, I guess. But yeah, the whole greyness, you know, of a town, it's not that enjoyable to be in. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the modern French architecture either. I'm not a huge fan. So I do love the city centres, the town centres. But in terms of modern architecture, yeah, I'm just eh. And fun fact as well, I don't know if you know this, but the whole Soviet architecture, you know, those big blocks of flats in the USSR, which is now known as, you know, Russia. Those big Soviet blocks of flats, huge, soulless looking buildings, concrete blocks. That's actually a French architect who did that, and they did it in France as well. They had these horrible soulless buildings. So there you go, as a fun fact. How big a property are you looking for, Ryan? Would you buy something that's quite derelict or one that just needs cosmetic repair? You know what, at this stage I would consider anything and everything, because, well, now I know how to put a roof on, I know how to put Veluxes in that roof, I know how to do, like how to fit windows more or less. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning. You know, doors are not an issue too much. Yeah, I'm just learning. I'm learning as I go, of course, and I feel confident to buy any sort of project as long as there's no really serious structural, like the walls are crumbling down, then I wouldn't touch it. So yeah, I'll consider anything, like I said. What colours are you going to use on the walls? So I'm sure you're referring to in here, the apartment. I'm just going to paint it like white. I want to keep it really neutral in here and then decorate the walls with some nice wall art. Last question. When do you travel back to Thailand? Great question. Probably next year. Early next year, January, I'm guessing, that's a guess. But yeah, next year for sure. Do love Thailand, of course, got friends and loved ones there, so yeah. That's about it really. I do love travelling, I must admit, I really do love travelling. And I'd love to see more of Europe as well, more of the world in general. But it's finding the time, the budget, and all that fun stuff, because I've got a house to buy and an apartment to renovate, so I can't exactly go travelling anytime soon. That's about it. There you go. There's a very honest Q&A, in fact. I haven't been in the best of moods today because I'm starving hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna go now. Don't know what time it is. It's 6:15, so I'm gonna go and get some food. It's coming up for dinner time, in fact. So that's it. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll try and post as well over the weekend. So I'm gonna love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next video, which just so happens to be probably tomorrow. Thanks a lot for watching, much appreciated. Toodaloo!